And the offseason trade of Bobby Snyder. So Garrison gets the first face-off win, and we're underway here in Rochester, New York, as the rookie Tyler Digby gives it to Brett Bucktooth. Over now on the left wing side, the shot, stick save by Vince. They battle for it in front of the net, and it is scooped up by Brad Self, and up the floor comes Paul Dawson. Opening minute here at the Blue Cross Arena, Knighthawks stealth. Jamison fighting off a check on the far boards by Hodgson, looking. Now we'll give it over to Dawson. Keogh goes after it. Big hit, knocks a stick out of his hands, and they battle for it in front of the stealth bench. And scooping that one and starting it up the other way, Molesky. Now Reese Dutch on the far boards. Number 10 in black, I'm sure we'll be saying his name quite often this evening. Radcliffe over to Dutch, the shot. That goes wide of the net. Picked up. I thought Radcliffe was going to be able to scoop that up, but it skips across the midfield stripe all the way back in on Royk. An over and back violation, and Rochester will go back on the offense.
And that's two offensive sets there for Vancouver, and Dutch was taking both shots there. They got number 7, Digby, who's a big body, who sets that screen for Dutch to come around and take that shot. That's happened twice already in the last 2 sets.
Fed across the crease, and Vitarelli was denied by Royk. Headman pass taken into the Rochester zone as Brett Bucktooth, native of Ned Road, New York, not too far outside of Rochester, gets it up top to Digby, the bounce shot, and that goes wide of the net. Garrison tries to grab it, and it's intercepted by Sid Smith. Across midfield into the stealth zone. He's going to put on the brakes, and he gives it to Self. Brad Self has it on the far boards. Opening minutes of this contest, and we are still scoreless. Johnny Paulus over now to Vitarelli. Vitarelli looks, bounce shot, and that one goes wide of the net as he was bidding for that far corner. Grabbed now by Point. Across right wing, the shot, and that one goes wide. And Brad Self is going to pick it up and loft it into the far corner, and it's scooped on ahead. And Reese Dutch, who just recently broke the 500-point plateau. Got it to Digby, now near side to Smith. Over to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe gives it to Cliff Smith. Probably the most consistent player on the Stealth this season. Now over to Dutch, spinning away. In front, the shot, and he hits the outside of the post, and it goes over the glass and into the stands, and Vancouver will get a fresh 30. Smith to Ratcliffe. On the right wing, in on goal, the shot. Save, rebound, oh, what another save by Matt Vince. Consecutive saves, and that last one was a beauty.
It looks like Matt Vince has come to play tonight. Obviously, he didn't get the start last game, and it wasn't from his play that he's been had over the last, say, month or so. But, he's been maybe struggling a little bit, and he got a chance to get a bit of a rest last week with sitting out the one game, and it looks like he's back in the fold now.
Geitch now in transition, the shot, kick, save. Rebound, grabbed in front of the net, the shot, he scores. And I believe that's Kyle Sorensen.
Yeah, that was just a broken play in front of the net. Obviously, Matt Vince made 2 or 3 saves. Got the rebound, came out, and none of the Rochester defenders grabbed the ball in front of the net. And Kyle Sorensen just grabbed it and came around to the top of the crease and put the ball in the net there. So that's something that obviously Rochester's defense got to be a little bit more aware. There's three on two there in front of the net, and somebody should be taking that body.
And I know they're glad to have Sorensen back. He played 3 games earlier this season, was hurt. His last game he played was at the beginning of the month, and now he is back in the lineup, and that is his second goal of the year. And that one is knocked across, and Rochester will take over as Dan Dawson, 3rd in the league in assists. Now over to Stephen Keogh, who's had one of the hot hands for the Knighthawks. Keogh, left wing, now to Dawson. Back to Keogh, 3rd-year pro out of Toronto. Now the shot goes, and that hit someone in front of the net. It was blocked by Hodgson. He was slow to get up. And it's passed over on the near boards as Vitarelli gave it to Dawson. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. And Dawson takes a big hit on the near boards, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Stealth now working it across midfield is a very clean-shaven Mike Grimes as he cut his beard this week.
Oh, yeah?
And Smith now to Bucktooth as they give it over on the left wing to Dutch. Bounces off his defender. Fed in front to Bucktooth. He lost the handle on it, and Vince will scoop it up and push it down the floor the other way. Bradsell flips to Jamieson. Jamieson needs 1 point for a career-high 90 this year for the 4th-year pro. Now to Point in the left wing. Trying to get some space to shoot. He gives it over now on the left wing in front of the net as Keogh fed it in tight. He couldn't connect with Dawson, and Roy grabs it, and he'll steer it up the turf. Garrison settling it in the Rochester zone. 10 minutes and 6 seconds to go here in the first. 1-0 Vancouver. Dutch backing his way in against Paul Dawson. Now on the near side to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe looking in front. Fires it up top to Dutch. Over now on the left wing side, fed in front to Ratcliffe. It's stripped away, and that's a shot clock violation. 9:46 to go here in the first. The Stealth in the lead, 1-0. We'll be back on the Knighthawks Broadcast Network.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon to the net. Scores! Curtis Dixon again. It's 11-10 Calgary.
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena as Stephen Keogh will give it now to Craig Point. Point still with it. Feeds it in front to Dawson. He can't connect. Paulus battling for it on the far boards. Sorensen trying to knock it away. Hodgson is also in there. He had it momentarily, and now he'll scoop it up and charge down the turf. 9:20 to go, and the Stealth in the lead 1-0. As Radcliffe will take that flip pass. Lewis Radcliffe, 47 points so far this season. Bucktooth the shot, and that one is denied by Vince. And he will scoop it up behind the cage, and it was brought back through the crease. So Vancouver will get the ball right back. Dutch up top, one-on-one with Scott Self. Radcliffe on the near boards to Smith. He has it knocked down, but he gets it right back. Behind the net now to Bucktooth. Fed to Digby. Feeds it to Radcliffe. Grabbed by Dutch. Over now to Smith. He shoots and scores. Cliff Smith.
Wow, that was a real nice shot there by Cliff Smith. Just a simple pass by Reese Dutch over to Smith, and he just planted and shot and went into the upper corner behind Vince there. And that's something, obviously you got to get out there and get time and space. And defensively, it seems like Rochester struggle a little bit. They seem to be standing flat-footed. They don't seem to have a whole lot of energy back there on defense. So that's something that they better identify before the end of the game here.
And a procedure call against Garrison. So Dylan Evans will give it now to Keogh. Stephen Keogh cutting through traffic. Now to Jamison in the slot, looking, shoots, bounce shot. Roy gets a piece of it. Jamison battling for the loose ball, and that's grabbed by Molesky across midfield. And Smith now will take the pass as he will set up in Rochester territory, joined by Digby and Bucktooth. Digby's a big man. He was drafted by Expansion Ottawa in the 4th round of the CFL draft, and he still has not ruled out being a professional football player.
Well, he definitely has the size for it. He's very athletic. Even watching him out here offensively for a big man, he's got real good hands. He sets real nice picks, and he seems to be running real well, so he's pretty athletic.
Right now the shots are 9-1 in favor of Vancouver. Johnny Paulus on the right wing, now to Jamison. Jamison in the slot. Tried to give it over to Dawson, but it's intercepted. Sorensen down the turf. He gives it over to his left. And it's taken there by Grimes. His pass handcuffs Dutch, who battles Mac Allen to the right of Vince. Still battling for it. Salt in there as well. Allen still trying to take it away, and Dutch somehow is able to get free, but his pass banks off the boards in front of the Rochester bench. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. And Sullivan will give it on ahead to Campbell. Across midfield comes Scott Campbell. He lost it, and back come the Stealth the other way. They've got numbers in their favor as Beers will give it up top, and we'll see what Vancouver can do here offensively as Radcliffe will give it down the near boards. Now fed in front, the shot, and Vince makes the save. Weiss now with the ball behind the Rochester goal as Digby now will join the offense. And it's fired over now on the left wing side as Bucktooth and Cliff Smith. So finally the Stealth with all their offensive pieces out there, and the shot is knocked down by Vince. Behind the net, it is scooped up and flipped on ahead by Sid Smith into the waiting stick of Scott Campbell. 6:08 to go, still 1-0 as Cody Jamison will bounce it over to Johnny Paulus. Down the near boards to Point, over to Vitarelli. Vitarelli on the right wing in the far corner, he'll give it to Jamison in front of the net, the shot, he scores! Johnny Paulus with the dive and the finish. And it's 2-1.
And a real nice set play there by the Rochester offense, and that's something that they've been struggling a little bit early in this game. Lots of drop balls, not a whole lot of shots on net. I think that was their second shot on net, but that was a set play there with Cody Jamieson in the corner. Johnny Pallas driving the net. It was a real nice feed. Johnny Pallas dove across the top of the crease, put it in behind Matt Roy. That was a real nice goal there by Johnny Pallas.
Jamieson with his 90th point. That's a new career high. And Johnny Pallas, who had a career high 5 goals last game, gets Rochester on the board. Now they trail by 1. Dawson setting it up now to Point, looking, fires the shot, saved by Roy. Rebound. Point goes to the boards after it. Still digging for it. Point kicks at it. Dawson hits the turf, but he's able to roll it into the far corner, where Weiss will pick it up for the Stealth. 5:12 to go here in the first. 11-3 are the shots, and the game is only 2-1. Fired behind the net. As Digby trying to get open in front, and Dutch takes the pass, and he'll give it over now on the right wing side. Wardle now, bounce pass, scooped up in the near corner. Fighting off his defender is Cliff Smith. The pass by Radcliffe is knocked down by Sullivan. And Rochester will work it in transition as Kirk will give it to Jamieson. And he'll take it across the timeline, battling a couple of stick checks by Hodson, who knocks it down. Now trying to pin Jamieson to the far boards, and he bounces off that check. Now has some room, fires it in front, the shot, and he scored! Johnny Pallas, after at least 4 or 5 stick fakes, Roik was hopping and bouncing, and somehow Pallas stayed out of the crease and bounces it in.
Wow, that was a wow. That was just a wow factor goal. I don't know how Johnny Pallas caught that ball, number one. In front of the net, he had about 2 or 3 seconds. He probably threw 5 or 6 fakes, had Matt Roik out of the net. Matt Roik was back in the net, out of the net, back in the net, and Johnny Pallas put it in behind Roik, and that was just an unbelievable goal by Johnny Pallas to make it 2-2.
Johnny Pallas's 14th goal in the last 6 games, as he's already got 2 tonight. The Knighthawks back at it offensively. The shot, kick save, as Craig Point is denied. With 3:58 to go, we are tied up at 2 after 2 straight goals by Johnny Pallas. We'll be back on the Knighthawks Broadcast Network.
This is Buffalo Bandits Lacrosse. Get your tickets now, starting at just $28, or your McDonald's Family 4-pack for just $89. Don't miss the hard-hitting, high-scoring action this season.
Score! Stenhouse loses a check, takes a shot, he scores!
Tickets are available at the First Niagara Center box office, online at bandits.com, or by phone at 1-888-467-2273. See you in Banditland.
Rock versus Buffalo, Friday, April 18th. For the best ticket in town, visit TorontoRock.com.
Two to 2 is our score. Pallas with 2 goals for Rochester, and Sorensen and Smith for Vancouver. As Vancouver going to work offensively. Pass over now to Smith. He can't hang on, and Sullivan will take it away. And the Knighthawks now in transition across midfield comes Campbell. Only 6 offensive players in the lineup tonight for Rochester, with the scratches to McCready and Walters being suspended. So you'll see Campbell and Brad Self getting a lot of time offensively tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are two guys that definitely can play at the front door, and only having six offensive players dressed tonight is, it's going to be a struggle for that 6 offensive guys, but they definitely got some guys that can help from the back end.
Fed now to Dutch, has it on the left wing side. 6th-year pro out of Victoria, BC. Now fed over to Radcliffe, the shot, the save, and Vince didn't know where the rebound went. It went over to his right where it's corralled by the team captain, Sid Smith, and here comes Brad Self in transition. Brad Self will stay on and play some offense after he flips it to Jamison. On the near boards to Dan Dawson. Dawson looking, takes it in, and he'll spin away from his defender. Now we'll feed it up top. Gets the pass over to Craig Point, looking to uncork that big shot. Fires it, and it's knocked down. He gets it right back in a left arm save by Roik. And Craig Point had his helmet knocked off behind the play as he got locked up with Pitchell. And he will head off the turf as Bucktooth and the Stealth looking to regain the lead in an illegal pick call, and Rochester will take over. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We're knotted up 2-2 as Campbell will give it over, and Jamison. Now we'll pass it on the far boards. Cody Jamison with 91 points. He's got 2 assists tonight. That is a career best for the 4th-year pro. Jamison has it stripped away, and Cody Jamison being named the Elliott Cushing Award winner by the Rochester Press Radio Club earlier today for promoting the sport on a national level. And he just fed it across to Keogh. Keogh with a career-high 30 goals and 66 points this year. And that pass is picked off by Beers and taken into the Rochester zone by Molesky. Molesky flip pass to Digby. Tyler Digby will fire it back now to Dutch, who has it on the left wing side, one-on-one with Scott Self. Dutch trying to get a lane, tried to fire it in front of the net. That's off the stick of Sid Smith, and here they come in transition. Mike Kirk will flip it back, and Brad Self will slow it down, and he'll fire it up top to Johnny Paulus. Back to Brad Self, up top to Vitarelli. Now to Point as they try to spread the ball. Point in the slot. Tried to feed it in front. That one is batted down. And here they come in transition. Geitch in on goal. The shot, it hit the crossbar. And that one is grabbed out of the air by Scott Self. He was in a foot race with Brett Bucktooth.
And that was a real good run there for Craig Point to get back defensively. Put a little effort on Geitch and not allow him to get a great shot on net.
16 seconds to go. The net to our right is empty as Rochester will set up for the final shot of the first quarter. Hollis to Jamison, left wing Dawson. 6 seconds to go. Now to Dawson, back to Jamison. 3 seconds. He shoots and scores! Cody
Jamison by Cody Jamison. Obviously, it was just going back and forth with him and Dan Dawson, back and forth. Real nice passing play. Got Roik moving a little bit. Got Vancouver's defense moving out of place. He slid back a little bit. He did a bit of a slide and put the ball in the top corner behind Roik. That was a real nice shot there by Cody Jamison.
2.1 seconds to go here in the first, and Rochester with their first lead of the evening at 3-2. And Garrison will take the draw against Dylan Evans. And that's going to do it. The whistle sounds, and the first quarter is in the books. And the Rochester Knighthawks will end it on a 3-0 run. Rochester 3, Vancouver 2.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans, flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon into the net. Scores! Curtis Dixon again! It's 11-10 Calgary.
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games, live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.
Welcome back to live action as the opening face-off is corralled by Weiss. Into the Rochester zone, the shot, and Vince with a right arm save. 13-7 were the shots on goal after the first quarter in favor of Vancouver. Had a chance to talk to head coach Chris Hall, and he said, the turning point of our season is when we played Edmonton. We were up 7-1. They ended up losing that game 9-8. It would have put them at 3-2 on the season, and it's really been a microcosm of their entire 2014 campaign. It's just losing those 1 or 2 goal games has really cost Vancouver this year.
Yeah, absolutely. They're one of those teams, like you said. They come out and they come out real well, and then the next game they'll come out not so good. So it's it's something they gotta find a way to be consistent, and if they do that, it might be a little scary for the rest of the league.
Yeah, one of their best efforts was in a recent win over Buffalo, 12-8, but then they lost 17-9 to Toronto. And that shot is stopped by Vince as Ratcliffe let it go from the right wing. Across the turf now is Mac Allen racing in on goal. The shot, and Roik makes the save. Mac Allen took it hard to the cage. And he is stopped by the veteran Roik, but that outlet pass is intercepted, and Matt Vince will give it over to his left to Brad Self. Opening minutes of the second as Stephen Keogh will set up the Rochester offense. Over to Dawson. Dawson now to Keogh. In the slot, the bounce shot that goes wide of the net. And Dan Dawson playing in his 195th straight game. Second only to Sean Williams of the Buffalo Bandits.
Yeah, and it wasn't too long ago that obviously Dawson had a bit of an injury, and it was up in the air if he was going to play that one game. I think it was a game out in Edmonton.
Yes, and he was the best offensive player for us that game.
I seen him on the Wednesday at practice, and he could hardly pass and catch, and even move down the field. And then he was playing in a game on Saturday. So that's something to be said for what kind of athlete Dan Dawson is.
And speaking of athletes, a very versatile Brad Self across midfield. Native of Peterborough, Ontario. Multiple Mann Cup winner with the Lakers. Jamieson in the slot looking, fires the underhand shot. Rebound behind the back, and Paulus puts it wide. Point picks it up on the far boards. 12 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the second. 3-2 Rochester. Jamieson bounces off a check. Vitarelli's shot knocked down by Sorensen. Picked up in the behind the back attempt, goes wide by Point. And Beers will slap it over now to Weiss, who will walk it across the timeline. Well, Vancouver started off on fire. 2 goals in the first 6.5 minutes. And ever since then, they've been shut down by Matt Vince and the Rochester defense. Dutch in the slot, gives it over now to Digby, his cross crease pass. is grabbed and a big hit on the far boards by Sullivan, but Wardle gets right back up, fed in front of the net, and a crease violation on the dive attempt in front by Radcliffe, and Rochester will take over. Campbell across midfield. He'll fire it down the near boards to Jamieson. Cody Jamieson's pass is knocked away. Royk's going to leave his cage to scoop it on up, and he'll fire it way down the turf for a transition opportunity. Bounce pass to Geich. And Ilya Geich, a lot of people may not remember, he was picked second overall by the Knighthawks in the same draft that they took Sid Smith. He was traded over in exchange for Gavin Prout, Andrew Potter, and 2 first-round picks. One of those picks ended up being Cody Jamieson.
Yeah, absolutely. That was actually, we were talking about that last night in regards to that trade. That's something that definitely was worked out in Rochester's favor for sure.
That pass is picked off, taken in on goal, the shot, and Vince is able to get enough of it to knock it away as Garrison went breaking in on goal. Now fed over on the right wing side as Radcliffe will join the rush, and he'll take the pass. Radcliffe now over to Dutch. Back to Radcliffe on the far boards. Gets the shot off, save, rebound, and that one trickles in on goal, and Vince is going to fire it up to Mac Allen. Allen looking for the stick of Johnny Paulus, and he hits him, and now he'll give it over to Jamieson. Jamieson to Corey Vitarelli. Fed in front of the net, and that errant pass is grabbed by Roy, and he will fire it on ahead. Less than 10 minutes to go here in the second, and Vancouver looking for their first goal in nearly a quarter. And Smith will have it on the right wing side. Pass behind the net to Bucktooth. Trying to work his way in front of the net, one-on-one with Scott Self. Switching hands, has it cradling in the right hand, and that pass actually made it in on Vince, who will fire it up the floor now to Scott Self. Self in on goal, the shot saved by Royk. And now here come the Stealth the other way. Fed over to Dutch in the slot, the shot, and that's knocked away by Vince. And the rebound was grabbed by Dylan Evans, and he just flips it over his head where it's grabbed by Mike Kirk.
Vancouver seems to be really running the floor here. They're up 20 shots to 10 here, and Matt Vince is definitely standing on his head right now. Rochester's defense not allowing him to get great shots, but they're still getting opportunities to shoot the ball. So that's something that Rochester's D's really got to cut back on, is the number of shots that they're getting on Matt Vince.
Dawson around the D, the shot, and a left arm save by Roy. 8:52 to go here in the second. Rochester still in the lead by 1, 3-2. We'll be back on the Knighthawks Broadcast Network.
This is Buffalo Bandits Lacrosse. Get your tickets now, starting at just $28, or your McDonald's Family 4-pack for just $89. Don't miss the hard-hitting, high-scoring action this season.
Score! Stenhouse loses check, takes a shot, he scores!
Tickets are available at the First Niagara Center box office, online at bandits.com, or by phone at 1-888-467-2273. See you in Banditland.
Rock versus Buffalo, Friday, April 18th. For the best ticket in town, visit TorontoRock.com.
Welcome back to live action. Radcliffe now over to Dutch on the left wing side, setting up in the Rochester zone against Paul Dawson. Dutch in the slot, feeds it in front to Digby. The shot and a right pad save by Vince.
And what a real nice save there by Matt Vince. He's seeing the ball real well. He's getting square to his net, and he's obviously making some real nice saves with 21 shots on net with only 2 in.
And Point now trying to get away from Garrison. He'll fire it over to Dawson. He'll roll it back now to Jamison. Jamison to Dawson on the left wing. Dawson in the slot, trying to get away from Garrison. Still has it, spins around, fires it over the top of the net. Grabbed off the end boards, and Garrison will give it over on the right wing side to Cliff Smith. Fired in front now to Bucktooth. Played his college ball not too far down the road at Syracuse University. 3 members of the Orange playing for the Knighthawks as well. As Radcliffe trying to get away from Ian Lord. Passed over now to Smith on the left wing, across, and that one is swatted away by Scott Campbell. It was intended for Radcliffe, and a big day at the Carrier Dome as the Syracuse women took down North Carolina, who was number 1 in the country, 12-9. So congratulations to former Knighthawks Gary Gate and Reggie Thorpe, who are the coaches there with the SU women. And right now the men of SU taking on the women of North Carolina. Or
the men. And
I was going to say.
And it's 10-10 in overtime right now.
10-10 Syracuse and North Carolina in men's lacrosse.
Yep.
So Syracuse looking for the sweep. North Carolina. As the pass taken by Digby on the left wing side. Across now in the slot to Bucktooth, the shot, and that's knocked away by a stick save of Matt Vince, and Brad Self will start it up the turf. Brad Self on the near boards to Jamison, who earlier in the game became the first player since Sean Williams to hit the 90-point plateau in a season as a Nighthawk, and that was all the way back in 2009. Dawson on the left wing. Gives it in the slot. Fitarelli's shot, and Roik makes the save. Fired down the turf as Grimes will have it on the right wing. They'll hang on to it, and the skip pass taken on the near boards by Digby. Knocked away. They battle for it on the near wall, and Dutch will keep it. And he'll give it over now on the right wing side. Pass back by Dutch as he took the feed from Radcliffe. His shot went wide, and it goes over the near glass, and they're going to say Rochester got a piece of it. 5:57 to go here in the second. 3-2 Rochester. Dutch in front of the net. The shot. Vince, what a save. And an equally great effort to get that shot on goal by Lewis Radcliffe. And Vince keeps the Rochester advantage to 1. Keogh on the left wing side, has it in the slot, we'll give it to Paulus. He'll fire it over on the left wing to Dawson. Dawson to Paulus. And that one is taken away on the near boards by Pitchell. And he'll loft it across to Weiss. Weiss across midfield, former second-round pick. Played his junior ball for the Peterborough Lakers. Now Bucktooth setting up to the right of Vince. Getting away from his man, but Smith was knocked down with an illegal pick, and here comes Brad Self. Hits Jamison in stride. Jamison trying to back his way in on goal. Fires it over now to Mike Kirk. He has it stripped away by Grimes, who has it knocked away by Kirk, but Roik is there to quickly move it up the turf. And the stealth now, the flip pass taken up top. The shot by Grimes is deflected behind the net. Grimes now will scoop it up as Campbell's in pursuit. Flip pass over on the far boards, 4.5 to go in the second. 3-2 Rochester as Grimes is being defended there by Scott Campbell. Now the flip pass taken by Geitch. Geitch trying to get away from Ian Lord, flipped in front of the net, and that was grabbed momentarily by Dutch, but he lost the handle, and Rochester now will take over defensively. Across midfield comes Sullivan. Sullivan will bounce it to Dawson. Dan Dawson on the left wing. Now we'll give it near side to Point. Craig Point trying to get away from the stick check of Weiss. Passes it over to Paulus in front of the net. That's tapped away. Keogh picks it up, now setting up behind the net. And he put it off the back of Roik, who didn't like that one bit. And Keogh is going to get away from all the black sweaters in front of the net. 3-2 Rochester, 3:47 to go here.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon into the net. Scores! Curtis Dixon again! It's 11-10 Calgary.
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games, live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.
That scrum, coincidental roughing minors to Vitarelli of Rochester and Beers of Vancouver. Still 3-2. Looking for our first goal here of the second quarter. As Bucktooth setting up on the near boards, we'll give it to Dutch. Now back to Bucktooth. Feeds it in front of the net. He can't connect with Digby, but Smith is there to pick it up. Up to Bucktooth. Touch pass to Dutch. Kick save by Vince, but the rebound is corralled by Radcliffe. Over to Dutch on the left wing. Getting away from his defender. The low shot, save, rebound, and diving on top of it is Matt Vince.
And that was a real nice save there by Matt Vince. Obviously, he's bounced back from the not playing last weekend, and he's definitely in real game form here, and he's keeping the Rochester Knighthawks in the game.
Jamieson gets away from Hodgson, backing his way in. Still has it. Fighting off a couple of stick checks. Fed it in tight to Dawson. It's taken away. And Pitchell going after it as the ball squirted across midfield. And he's going to scoop it up. And feed it over to Wardle. Number 17 in black. Now fed on the left wing to Bucktooth. His pass in front of the net is knocked down. Dylan Evans going after it. It's grabbed. And passed over to Dutch, the low shot. That's knocked down in front by Ian Lord. Now picked up in that shot by Bucktooth, denied by Vince. And again, the Stealth will come away with a loose ball as Digby picked it up. And now Radcliffe has it on the right wing side. Great loose ball work by the Stealth. The shot from the outside by Radcliffe, and he ties it at 3.
Wow, what a shot there by Lewis Radcliffe. And obviously Lewis Radcliffe, he likes to shoot from that spot. He stands flat-footed. He's not really a guy that shoots on the run. And when you give him time and space to shoot the ball, he's going to score more often than not. And that's just a matter of Rochester's defense not getting out on hands, not getting out in the shooting lanes, and not allowing Lewis Radcliffe to shoot the ball. You know, coming off that set there too, I'll bet you Matt Vince saved about 5 or 6 shots off that one offensive set, and that's something that Rochester's defense definitely has to do better, is get the loose balls and get it down into the Vancouver end zone.
12:54 the time of the goal as Radcliffe ties things up. Unassisted tally by Radcliffe. His 189th regular season game for the former championship game MVP, and nearly 1,000 points in his 12th year career. And the shot, and now it's 4-3.
And again, you give Lewis Radcliffe time and space to shoot the ball, and that's what he's going to do. That was just a simple one-on-one play. He had time and space to shoot the ball. Again, defensively, they didn't get out on his hands. They allowed him to stand, plant, and shoot the ball, and that's what happens when you allow Lewis Radcliffe to do that.
So 2 straight goals by Radcliffe. And Vancouver in the lead with 1.5 minutes to go here in the first. Off the face-off win, it was scooped up by Salt, who will give it now to Wardle, who will pass on the near boards to Digby. The former third rounder, Tyler Digby. Now Radcliffe setting up on the right wing side, gives it over to Dutch. Dutch being watched there by Mac Allen, who takes it right away. Allen across midfield, racing in on Roik. The shot over the top of the net. And Paul Dawson is there to scoop it up. And Paul Dawson, who was drafted by the Stealth as a goalie, it seems like a lifetime ago. And his brother now, Dan Dawson, in possession of the ball. And just 5 seconds left on the shot clock as Keogh rips that one wide of the net. Molesky now gives it over to his right. And Beers will walk it across midfield. 30 seconds to go here in the first half. Very low scoring. And the Stealth with a 4-3 lead. And possession of the ball is Dutch on the left wing. 9 seconds left on the shot clock, and an illegal pick call as Lord was knocked down. And Sullivan will pass it on ahead to Brad Self. And we have a whistle behind the play. And an official's timeout with 15.1 seconds to go here in the first half of play. 29-11 of the shots on goal in favor of Vancouver.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And again, Matt Vince is back in game form here, and he's definitely seeing the ball real well. He's square to the net, square to shots, and he's even, he's allowing. Well, he's not allowing, but Rochester's defense is allowing 3-4 shots in an offensive set, and that's something that definitely they can't allow.
16-5 are the shots on goal this quarter in favor of Vancouver. And right now they're shutting out the Knighthawks 2-0. 2 quick goals, 27 seconds apart by Lewis Radcliffe is the difference in this contest. 17 seconds now up on the clock, so they added nearly 2 seconds. And Rochester's Johnny Paulus will start it deep in his own territory as Matt Vince sits on the Rochester bench. And Rochester scored just before the end of the first quarter. We'll see if they can duplicate the effort here to end the second. And here goes Johnny Paulus. Across midfield, into the stealth zone, 10 seconds to work with. Left wing side to Dawson, up top Jamieson, gives it down low, fed in front, the shot! Oh, what a save by Roy as he denies Stephen Keogh. And the play was set up. They got the look that they wanted, but Roy robs Stephen Keogh.
Wow, Stephen Keogh on top of the crease there. Real nice set play there by the coaching staff, Rochester's coaching staff. Worked real well. Got Stephen Keogh wide open on top of the crease. Matt Roy stuck his elbow out, made a real nice save on Stephen.
Support the National Lacrosse.
Welcome to NLL Halftime. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Dave Walls. We'll get you back to your game in just a few moments. Right now, let's get you caught up on scores and standings as we head into this week's action. Week 16 of the 2014 NLL season. Week 16 promises to be a week where the contenders are separated from the pretenders, and Week 15 set all that up. Calgary came from behind to beat the Philadelphia Wings on Friday at the Wells Fargo Center 13-9, and the Rochester Knighthawks needed overtime to take care of the Minnesota Swarm 15-14. Rochester would take the matchup the following night at the Blue Cross Arena over Minnesota 12-9, while the Edmonton Rush kept their undefeated season alive, moving to 14-0 with a 12-11 win over the Mammoth. Finally, the Toronto Rock won 17-9 over Vancouver. However, Garrett Billings tore his ACL in the game and will miss the rest of the 2014 regular season. Our game of the week came as Calgary traveled to Buffalo on Saturday and stormed ahead in the fourth quarter thanks to a 7-1 run, defeating the Bandits 16-13. In that game, John Tavares scored career goal number 800, further adding to his legacy. So where does that leave us as we head into Week 16? In the NLL Eastern Division, Rochester sits alone with an 11-4 record, having swept both games against Minnesota last week. They host the Vancouver Stealth on Saturday night. Meanwhile, Buffalo's been slipping as of late, but still holding on to second place with a record of 8-6, 2.5 games back of the Knighthawks. The real matchup in the Eastern Division to watch for this week is Toronto and Philadelphia. Toronto has a one-game lead over Philadelphia with a record of 6-9, and the Wings at 5-10. If Toronto wins, both Philadelphia and Minnesota will be eliminated, as Toronto will hold the tiebreaker over the Wings. However, if the Wings win this one, all three teams are still alive for that third playoff spot in the Eastern Division. Minnesota needs to win, and they need help with a record of 3-12, sitting in last place. Meanwhile, out west, the Edmonton Rush currently sit alone atop the division with that perfect 14-0 record. However, they've got arguably their toughest weekend to date, traveling to Colorado for Friday night, and then on Saturday night out at the Saddle Dome to face the Roughnecks. Those Roughnecks sit in second place, however, with their weekend sweep in Week 15 with a record of 10-5, battling the Edmonton Rush on Saturday. Down in third place, Colorado and Vancouver will remain a game apart from each other and both face tough challenges in Week 16. Colorado facing the Edmonton Rush and Vancouver traveling to the Knighthawks on Saturday. That does it for NLL Halftime. Thanks for watching. We'll get you back to your game in just a moment. This is the National Lacrosse League.
Gives it to Keogh. He shoots and scores. Stephen Keogh, right where he left off yesterday. It's 1-0.
Grant Trundle in, ball trick right in front to Jones. He stopped right on the doorstep, and it stays out. It's Corbeil and Rubish. Now they turn it over, scores. Kyle Rubish had his pass intercepted, and Bold wasn't aware, and Jones fires it home, something you don't see very often from Rubish.
Rush in the third.
Here's Ted straight to the goal. Diving shot, scores! 3 steps, goes airborne. And gives it to Chapman right after the goal. Or check it, it's Campbell. But a highlight reel goal from Reese Dutch.
Yeah, he's doing some real nice saves. Real nice goal there by Johnny Powell. He just drove down the middle. Got a nice pass there by Stephen Keogh.
As Poulin makes the save on Thornberry, who comes right back around and he scores! Thornberry gets airborne to beat Poulin for the Roughnecks. Back come the Bandits. Finesse at the top. There's Pavelis, and there is number 800 in his brilliant career. The living legend does it again. Buffalo up by 3.
Ford will head to the bench. Extra attacker on a minute to go. Westerveld down low in the crease. He scores! He rung it right around the goal post, and it's a 1-goal game with 58 seconds to go.
Roughnecks have had problems all night on their bench play, getting clean line changes. Behind the back bounce shot for Dane Noby. He scores. Nobody saw it coming, and Noby catches the wing snoozing.
Making a double. Here's Doyle around the screen, lowers in the shoulder, inside, still spinning is Doyle, and he scores. What a goal from Colin Doyle. Snow down by 8. Here's Bucktooth down low. Smith backhand shot, scores. Hello from Chris Smith as he goes over the shoulder, and it's 12-5.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans, flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon into the net, scores! Curtis Dixon again! It's 11-10 Calgary!
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games, live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.
This is Buffalo Bandits Lacrosse. Get your tickets now, starting at just $28 or your McDonald Family 4-pack for just $89. Don't miss the hard-hitting, high-scoring action this season.
Score! Stenhouse loses a check, takes a shot, he scores!
Tickets are available at the First Niagara Center box office, online at bandits.com, or by phone at 1-888-467-2273. See you in Banditland.
Rock versus Buffalo, Friday, April 18th. For the best ticket in town, visit TorontoRock.com.
Off the face-off, Garrison against Evans. Evans wins it cleanly. And he hit the deck as he lost his footing, and Beers is there to pick it up. Fighting off a check by Brad Self, the 8th-year pro. And the skip pass taken on the near boards by Radcliffe, who's got 2 tonight. Fires it up top to Bucktooth. Bounce pass left wing to Dutch. Over now, in and out of the stick of Geitch, and in to scoop it up is Scott Self, who will fire it quickly down the turf to his younger brother Brad Self, who elects to give it to Jamieson. One-on-one with Hodgson on the right wing side. Gives it left wing to Point. Point up top to Jamieson. Down low to Point, and he'll give it to Keogh. Penalty upcoming to Vancouver as Vince heads to the bench in favor of Vitarelli. Dawson left wing, up top Jamieson, the shot, he scores! What a pretty pass to Craig Point, and he squeezes it by right, and we're tied at 4.
Yeah, that was a real nice 6-on-5 play right there, and obviously that's something that Rochester definitely works on. The ball gets around to Craig Point, he puts it in the net. You know, obviously, real nice pass and play, real nice shot by Craig Point there.
And how huge has he been since his return? 4 games back and 9 goals for number 9 in white, Craig Point. Garrison against Evans. And that one is intercepted by Dylan Evans. And it's going to be an over and back call on Rochester. And Cliff Smith now with the ball on the near side, trying to bull his way in on goal. Backing his way in, looks, shoots, saved by Vince, and Sullivan will come away with a rebound. So Craig Point from Cody Jamieson. And Dan Dawson will get the second assist. Campbell, left wing Dawson. Now over to Vitarelli, fires it from the right wing, and Reich makes the stop. So we're knotted up at 4, time of the goal, 58 seconds. And we'll see what Vancouver has in store for Rochester. Radcliffe, right wing shot, and that hit the far pipe, and that bounces over the far glass and into the crowd. So Digby now will give it to Smith as they'll reset their offense. Radcliffe from the near boards. Fighting off some checks by Sid Smith. That forces an errant pass. Digby able to scoop it up, and he gives it to Bucktooth in the high slot. Bucktooth fires it into the far corner. Now back up top to Bucktooth, being shadowed there by Mike Kirk. Fed behind the net. Now give it on the near boards to Radcliffe. Gets the shot off. That's knocked down by Paul Dawson, and they're going to give him a reset, and the wraparound attempt is knocked away, and Rochester will start it back the other way. And Paul Dawson actually made that save with his left shin.
Yeah, that was a real nice save there by Paul Dawson. Obviously, I think they thought that was a bit of a reset there for Vancouver, but it hit Paul Dawson.
And Keogh's shot is knocked down, but it's picked back up by Point, who gives it now to Brad Self. Across to Vitarelli in the slot, behind the back save. Rebound. They battle for it in front. Paulus going after it. He's going to scoop it up. Gives it on back to a racing Scott Campbell, who just joined the rush. And now Dan Dawson with it on the near boards. Joined by Jamieson, who takes the feed in the high slot. Left wing to Dawson, trying to take his defender one-on-one underneath. Dawson, spin move, in front, shoots, saved by Roik. And the rebound is grabbed, and charging up the floor was Garrison, who had it knocked away momentarily, and now he'll take the feed on the left wing side, and he'll give it now to Dutch. 11:20 remaining in the third, and Reese Dutch will flip it now. The fakes the pass now to Bucktooth. Now he'll give it over to Bucktooth, left wing side, shot over the top of the net. Karam's off the near glass, bounces across midfield, and that's an over and back violation. 11:07 to go here in the third. 32-16 are the shots on goal, and the Stealth leaving everything out on the turf tonight.
Absolutely. They're taking shots upon shots, and that's something that obviously that was their game plan, and they're sticking to their game plan. I guess they're going to try and tire Matt Vince out.
Jamison in front. Dawson flip pass to Point in the slot, and that one is intercepted. 3-on-2 if they can hurry. Pitchell gives it over now on the left wing side. Back to Beers, who will feed it right wing. Radcliffe shoots into the midsection of Vince. He'll knock it down, scoop it up, and pass it on ahead to Brad Self. Across midfield to Point. Down the near boards to Keogh. Keogh still with it, trying to get away from Salt, who lost. One defender lost the stick. Now the shot in front is deflected into the near corner. Batted at, picked up by Point. Over to Keogh, the shot, and right in to the pads of Roik. His headman pass is fumbled in the Rochester zone. And now given to Reese Dutch, as Garrison would have had a great 2-on-1 but couldn't hang on. Now in front of the net, the one-handed attempt, and Dutch was knocked down, and back away comes Mac Allen. Allen goes back to pick it up and get a good handle on the ball, and he'll pass it to Evans now, who feeds it over to Mac Allen. Allen still fighting the ball, scoops it up, fights off a big hit as he's knocked down to the turf on the near boards. Sorensen gets away from a check by Vitarelli, and Vancouver will set it up now in the Rochester zone as Digby will fire it on the near boards to Smith. Behind the net against Paul Dawson. Reverses his footing. Trying to take it around the net. He'll give it to Wardle now. Passes on the left wing side. Dutch fires and rips it wide of the net. And that one goes over the near glass, just over the Rochester bench and out of play. When we come back, it'll be Rochester possession. We are tied up at 4. 9:03 to go here in the third. We'll be back on the Knighthawks Broadcast Network.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon to the net. Scores! Curtis Dixon again. It's 11-10 Calgary.
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.
Hawks, the native of Oakville, Ontario, is a firefighter in Brampton, and you can actually support the National Fallen Firefighters Association next Saturday. Go to Knighthawks.net for more information. And the shot by Paulus goes wide of the net off the initial save on the attempt by Vitarelli, and Grimes will pick it up and start it the other way into Knighthawks territory. They'll give it on back for Brett Bucktooth. 8th season in the NLL. In the win against Buffalo, he had a goal and 7 assists in the win against his former team. And he'll feed it over on the left wing side now to Dutch. Gives it to Radcliffe, the low shot and a stick save by Matt Vince. Headman pass to Campbell. Campbell on the right wing. Hits a cutting point, the shot he just missed wide. Off the near boards, they battle for it. Charging in comes Keogh to strip it away. Point picks it up, and he'll give it to Dawson. Now he'll give it to Paulus up top. Back to Dawson. who will give it down low to Craig Point, who just missed, giving Rochester the lead. Over to Johnny Paulus, right wing side to Jamison in the high slot. Jamison drawing the double team, gives it over to Paulus. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Tried to quickly get it over to Point, and that one is taken away by Molesky, who passes it across midfield to Weiss. Now to Reese Dutch. Dutch guarded there by Kirk. Gives it in the high slot to Radcliffe. Back to Dutch. Guarded there by Paul Dawson. Flip pass to Digby. Now right wing to Radcliffe. Trying to spin away from Sid Smith. Gets it up top. The shot by Dutch is knocked down by Mike Kirk. And a shot clock violation. Rochester will take over as Scott Self will pass it across midfield to Corey Vitarelli. Vitarelli now to Johnny Paulus, who has 2 goals this evening. Paulus against Sorensen. Now to Dylan Evans, getting some work on the offensive side of the ball. To Point. Point's pass knocked down. Roik has to glove it down. He fires it down the floor now to Grimes. He's got a breakaway if he can hurry the shot. He just missed wide, and that one will go out of play over the near glass. And Grimes let that one fly. He had a trailing Scott Campbell, so he had to rush the shot, and he missed wide, and it causes the turnover in Rochester now with the ball with 6:20 to go in the third, and we are tied up at 4. Keel bulls his way in, trying to find a lane to shoot. Still with it, gives it to Jamison in front. Turnaround shot by Paulus goes wide. And that one is grabbed out of the air. Rochester trying to cause the turnover. Vitarelli battling for it. Dawson knocks it away right into the stick of a waiting Jamison. He races across midfield, getting away from 3 defenders. He's knocked down to the turf, and a penalty coming up to the stealth.
Wow, what a great effort there by Cody Jamison to get that ball there. And it was basically a 1-on-3 for Cody Jamison. Obviously, one of the Vancouver players hit Jamison from behind and drew a penalty there. So it was a real good effort there by Cody Jamison.
So Rochester's leading scorer doing the dirty work after the strip by Dawson, and it sets up Rochester on the man advantage. Vitarelli to Paulus, and they'll work it around the horn. We'll see if they can get a good shot off as Point has it on the left wing. Feeds it across, and that's tapped away. It was intended for Vitarelli, who grabs it and lofts that one over to Jamison, and that one goes across midfield. And Vancouver will have the ball deep in the Rochester zone with 1:40 remaining in the penalty to Nick Weiss. On the near boards is Cliff Smith. Shoves off a check by Brad Self. And now Dutch with it on the left wing. Passed over to Radcliffe. As everyone's going to get a touch as Digby now will give it left wing to Dutch. Guarded there by Ian Lord. Fed across and grabbed out of the air by a leaping Sid Smith.
That was a real nice pick up there by Sid Smith. He got up in his ladder and picked that ball up out of the air and allowed for Rochester's power play to do their work.
Stephen Kia with the ball on the left wing to Dawson. Over to Paulus. Down low to Jamison. Up top to Dawson. Dawson to Paulus, back to Dawson. They play catch at the top. Paulus shoots and scores, but an illegal pick call on Jamison. And that one is picked off by Jamison. It's kicked into the near corner, and Vancouver's going to have to hurry to avoid the 8-second. And it's rifled over the glass and into the crowd, and with 4:29 to go.
This is Buffalo Bandits Lacrosse. Get your tickets now, starting at just $28, or your McDonald Family 4-pack for just $89. Don't miss the hard-hitting, high-scoring action this season.
Score! Stenhouse loses check, takes a shot, he scores!
Tickets are available at the First Niagara Center box office, online at bandits.com, or by phone at 1-888-467-2273. See you in Banditland.
Rock versus Buffalo, Friday, April 18th. For the best ticket in town, visit TorontoRock.com.
Welcome back to the Blue Cross Arena. Rochester still on the man advantage as Craig Point battling behind the net against Molesky, and it's scooped up by Roy. 4:10 to go as it's cleared over on the left wing side. 2-on-1 break the other way. In and out of the stick of Brad Self. And there's a penalty coming up. Everyone looking in front of the Vancouver bench. 3:58 to go is behind the play. And I didn't see exactly what happened.
I think it's got something to do with Cody Jamieson. I'm not sure if two guys just collided and obviously run into the same spot and two guys just collided. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but obviously Cody Jamieson's going to the penalty box.
Well, that's going to do it for the power play for Rochester, and 4 minutes go up for Cody Jamieson.
Yeah, it looks like Beers may have took the worst of that collision, so I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen.
Two minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct, 2 minutes for elbowing, and with 3:58 to go, we have reached a crucial juncture in this contest in Vancouver. We'll go on the man advantage as soon as Bucktooth can make it on the turf, and the Rochester bench screaming because Bucktooth left early. But Vancouver will set up the man advantage as Radcliffe up top to Bucktooth. Feeds it down low, now passed up top to Dutch to Radcliffe. Shoot, save by Vince. 3:28 to go here in the third quarter, and Jamieson's penalty and the time clock just 2 seconds apart. As Jamieson picking up 2 and 2, as Dawson now working the ball shorthanded, has it on the right wing side now to Stephen Keogh. He could be very dangerous shorthanded. Keogh drawing the double team, still with it. Gets the shot off and a right pad save. Now Roik going after Keogh, and Keogh a body check on Roik. But they're able to clear it out of harm's way across midfield.
What a great effort there by Stephen Keogh to, obviously going 1-on-2 there, get a shot away, go in and fight for that loose ball. He came up a little short on it, but you know what? What a great individual effort by Stephen Keogh.
Dutch looks, shoots, it's behind Vince, it pops in front of the net. Smith now bouncing away from two defenders. Sid Smith still has it. He'll feed it on to Brad Self. And he is going to settle it down and wait for Johnny Paulus, who will give it right back to Brad Self. Left wing to Dawson. Now right wing to Paulus as they spread the floor. Now Dawson from the left wing. The shot, he scores! He went low to high and fires it over the right right shoulder of Roy. It's 5-4.
Wow, what a timely goal there by Dan Dawson. Obviously short-handed there. Real nice low to high shot. Got about halfway up the net on Matt Roy. I think he was a little surprised that Dan Dawson shot the ball from that far out. But it looks like he's shooting through some screens and shooting around some big bodies for the Vancouver team. So Roy probably didn't see a whole lot of that ball until it went in behind him. But what a great shot there by Dan Dawson, and a timely goal at that.
The laser from the former league most valuable player gives Rochester a 1-goal lead. 1:56 remaining in the Vancouver man advantage, as Radcliffe will fire it up top to Bucktooth, who will pass it now to Radcliffe, who will feed it down low and get the pass back. Now in the high slot to Bucktooth. Over to a cutting Dutch. The shot, he missed wide of the net. And the ball bounces right back. Dutch will grab it, the long-range shot. And that's knocked down by Matt Vince, who will waft it on ahead to Paul Dawson, who will pass it to Keogh. Oh, what a hit on Sorensen as he knocked him down. Now Keogh hits the turf, battling for the loose ball. Still digging for it on all fours. Keogh battling 3 defenders.
And the fourth is in there now. Jeez. Took 4 guys to get that ball away from Stephen Keogh, and another great individual effort here. Short-handed, trying to get that ball back. He's battling hard, and he's giving his team an opportunity to win this game.
Dutch with it on the left wing side, less than a minute to go here in the third. 5-4 Rochester. Dutch to Radcliffe, up top to Bucktooth, right wing. Now left wing to Dutch. In front of the net, Digby tried to post up. He lost the handle on it as it was knocked away by Scott Self, who now takes the outlet pass. His pass is knocked down and now flipped into the Vancouver zone. And that's an 8-second violation, so the Stealth with 34 seconds to work with before the end of the third, and Reese Dutch. Over to Cliff Smith, who has it in the high slot. Now to Dutch, to a cutting Radcliffe. Shoots it over the top of the net. Grabbed by Dutch. He shoots, he hits the post. Grabbed now by Smith. 16 seconds to go. Fed behind the net to Digby. Now to Dutch. Right wing to Radcliffe. Up top to Smith. He shoots and misses wide. That bounces into the stick of Brad Self, who's got a breakaway. 3 seconds left. He shoots. He's ripped down to the turf, and that is going to end the third quarter of play. As Brad Self was slow to get up, he took a pounding as he tried to get that shot off in on goal. As he was in a foot race, shielding himself from the defender, and he just scooped that one wide of the net. We'll be back for an exciting fourth quarter. Knighthawks 5, Stealth 4. We'll be back on the Knighthawks Broadcast Network.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon into the net. Scores! Curtis Dixon again. It's 11-10 Calgary.
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.
Welcome back to live action. Jameson's penalty has been released, and now Evans taken down. And it's going to be a loose ball push on the stealth, as Robert Hollinsworth gives the possession to the Knighthawks as Evans was knocked down, and Jameson will give it left wing to Point. Craig Point fakes the shot in on goal, score! Craig Point with a nifty face dodge, and he puts it by Roy, gets a 2-goal lead.
What a real nice goal there by Craig Point. Great individual effort. Put a nice fake on the defender and stepped around the other defender to the top of the crease, put it in behind Matt Roy, and that was a real nice goal there by Craig Point.
So the Rochester Knighthawks on a 3-0 run. And Evans wins the faceoff, and Sullivan will bounce it back to Kirk. Mike Kirk to Cody Jameson. Has it on the right wing. Jameson now over left wing side, as Evans will give it now to Jameson, spinning away from Salt, has it in the slot, gives it to Dawson on the left wing. Dawson fighting off a check by Garrison, still with it, and he's going to roll it into the near corners. Corey Vitarelli left his bucket on the turf. And Reese Dutch now will get the offense going here for Vancouver as he passes to Digby. Digby in the slot, that's off the stick of a cutting Radcliffe, but it's picked up by Bucktooth, who will loft it over on the near boards, nearly taken away. Dutch now will scoop it up. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Smith's pass is broken up. It was intended for Digby, and down the turf comes Brad Self, who's not showing any ill effects of that hit at the end of the third quarter. Jameson's pass, one-handed, caught by Keogh, who fires it, and a right pad save made by Roy, who hits a cutting. Grimes races in on goal, the shot, and Vince will make the stop as he has it pinned underneath his right arm.
What a real nice save there by Matt Vince. Obviously, he's seeing the ball real well. That's a couple breakaways that he saved, and he's given the Knighthawks an opportunity to win.
Oh, and Matt Vince is knocked down. His helmet comes off, and now that is going to draw the attention of everyone on the turf as Vince is down to the right of his crease as he took a big hit. Vince was going after it.
Yeah, that was a big hit there on Matt Vince, and something's obviously going to come from that, and that was something. Two guys going for the ball, and I think Vince took the worst of it.
So Matt Vince will put his lid back on. 6'1", 212 pounds, and not an ounce of fat on him. So just doing a little stretching after that hit. And Craig Point, who came to his defense, will head off and make his way to the penalty box for the Knighthawks. And for Vancouver, Sorensen will head to the box. And we'll wait for the penalties to be assessed with 12:50 to go. 6-4 is our score in favor of the Knighthawks, and that is one of the risks that you take as a netminder in this league. You've got all that equipment on, and when you leave the confines of your crease, you're fair game. And Matt Vince took a shot from Sorensen that sent him flying into the boards.
Yeah, and obviously, you know what? When a goalie does get out of his crease, he does get hit. That's when players kind of take offense to it. They kind of want to protect their goalie and be there for their teammate, and that's definitely what Craig Point did. And obviously, he's going to go for 2 minutes, and Sorensen will go for 2 minutes. So it's not going to obviously it'll even things out a little bit, but you don't like to see goalies going into the boards that hard, and obviously from behind a little bit. And I'm sure Sorensen didn't really probably mean to do that, but it's always good to be a little bit more under control.
So right now there is a penalty up there to Mac Allen, who is sitting alongside Craig Point. Sorensen gets 5 for boarding. Point gets a 5 for boarding. And Mac Allen gets 2 for roughing, so Vancouver will go on the man advantage. So a power play opportunity here for Vancouver in the opening minutes of the fourth quarter, and they trail by 2. Out of town scores, the Toronto Rock have wrapped up the third and final playoff spot in the East as they edge the Philadelphia Wings 10-9, so Philadelphia eliminated from playoff contention. And the Buffalo Bandits trailing the Minnesota Swarm 8-6. So can Minnesota duplicate their effort against Buffalo? The last time those two teams met at the Xcel Energy Center, Minnesota won in overtime and a goal by Callum Crawford. And right now, a key power play for the Stealth as Bucktooth will pass it over to Radcliffe, who lost it. Smith going after it, Radcliffe picking it back up. And he'll feed it over to Dutch. Looks to a cutting Radcliffe, who can't hang on to it again. And that one is knocked away, but into the stick of Sid Smith, who flips it now to Scott Self. And Rochester with the ball shorthanded. The last time they were shorthanded, Dan Dawson scored to give Rochester the 5-4 lead. This is the third man advantage of the night for Vancouver. Jamison to Keogh. Keogh trying to get away from Digby. Now gets the shot off. It hits Hodson, and it's grabbed by Salt, who will steer it on ahead. Hodson now approaching midfield. Steps across and gives it to Bucktooth. He'll pass it left wing to Reese Dutch, who will give it now to Digby. He shoots and scores. Tyler Digby scores stick side on Matt Vincent at 6-5.
That was a real nice shot there by Digby. Obviously, he had time and space. Nothing real special. Just a nice little passing play between him and Dutch. And Digby stepped into his sweet spot there on the floor and put it in short side on Matt Vince. And obviously with 39 shots on net, it's going to be something that obviously maybe Matt Vince is feeling a little bit. I know he's in great physical condition, but to be facing 39 shots in the game is a big task.
6-5 now. Rochester with a 1-goal lead, and Evans with a key face-off win. And Jamison's pass hits Keogh, and it bounces right to Roik. Roik gives it on ahead to Molesky. 11:20 to go as Bucktooth will give it over to Reese Dutch. Dutch has it still, surveying the Rochester defense. Now trying to get underneath the shot, and that one, they're saying Vince got a piece of it, and it went out of play. And Vancouver will keep possession as it's fed to Bucktooth as he takes the pass from Smith. Skips it across on the right wing side to Radcliffe to Bucktooth. Shoots and misses wide of the net. Brad Self going after it. He grabs it. Takes it across midfield. Feeds it now to Johnny Paulus, who will work it down the near boards. Across on the left wing to Dawson. Dan Dawson trying to get away from Bucktooth. Approaching the net, feeds it in front, and that's off the stick of Keogh. And Roik, the outlet pass to Grimes, who will wait for the offense. And he will flip it to Radcliffe. Radcliffe on the right wing. Guarded there by Sullivan. Skip pass up top to Self, over to Dutch. Dutch over to Radcliffe, or check that, that's Wardle. Wardle over to Digby, can't hang on. It's chopped away. Picked up by Mac Allen. 3-on-1 break if they can hurry. Now fed over on the left wing to Dylan Evans. And he's going to slow it down as Rochester will get the offense out there, and Paulus' pass taken by Jamison on the near boards. 9:40 to go in the fourth. Jamison trying to cut in underneath, spinning down to the turf, the shot, save, rebound, scored! And they're going to wave it off. Corey Vitarelli grabbed that ball out of the air as he tiptoed the crease, and he fires it by Roik. What a spectacular goal, and right now it's going to be no goal, but the challenge flag comes out immediately. 9:37 to go, 6-5, the challenge flag has been thrown. We're going to take a break. We'll find out what happens when we come back on the Knighthawks Broadcast Network.
This is Buffalo Bandits Lacrosse. Get your tickets now, starting at just $28, or your McDonald's Family 4-pack for just $89. Don't miss the hard-hitting, high-scoring action this season.
Score! Stenhouse loses check, takes a shot, he scores!
Tickets are available at the First Niagara Center box office, online at bandits.com, or by phone at 1-888-467-2273. See you in Banditland.
Rock versus Buffalo, Friday, April 18th. For the best ticket in town, visit TorontoRock.com.
Off. Well, Corey Vitarelli's attempt to put back the rebound is the call on the field stands. 6-5, 9:37 to go. Both of these teams have been locked up in one-goal games this year. Rochester with 4 of those. They're 1-3. Vancouver with 5, and they're 1-4. So both have struggled in one-goal contests this season. But fortunately for Rochester, they're 11-4, and Vancouver's 4-10.
Yeah, it looks a lot better in Rochester's favor for sure. And Vancouver, this is a must-win for them. So they're going to the last 9.5 minutes here is going to be a real good one for Vancouver. Obviously, Rochester's really got to put forth their best effort here to finish out the game.
40-25 are the shots on goal in favor of the Stealth. And Cody Jamison will have possession for the Rochester Knighthawks. And Rochester on the man advantage as Dawson has it on the left wing. Up top to Jamison, works it down low to Vitarelli. Now to Jamison, looking over to Dawson on the left wing. Now to Keogh, fakes the shot, now to Jamison, shoots, save, rebound. And it's battled for and scooped up by Paulus. He'll give it to Dawson on the left wing. Dawson to Jamison in the high slot. Now to Dawson on the left wing. Looking up to Jamison. In front, Paulus has it knocked away. Now it's stripped away by the Knighthawks, and Vitarelli grabs it to Dawson, fires the shot. He hits the far pipe. And that'll skip across midfield where it's knocked down by Jamison. 8:40 to go. Rochester on the man advantage. Vitarelli gives it to Johnny Paulus on the right wing. Jamison to Dawson. Down low to Keogh. Back up top to Dawson. Jamison in the slot as they Play catch up top, fed in front, the shot. Oh, Roik, what a save.
What an unbelievable save there by Matt Roik. He was almost like the scarecrow, stuck his arms out, and made a real nice save there on Corey Vittorelli.
Jamieson in the high slot, looking in on goal. Over to Keogh, the low shot save, rebound tapped in on goal by Vittorelli, and Roik has it underneath him. 8:04 to go here in the fourth. And I think Matt Roik just wants to get a rest.
Yeah, I think that would be something that maybe want to get the trainer out on the floor here and try and kill some time, get a bit of a rest. But obviously the referee read into that one, and it's moving forward.
20 seconds left in the Rochester power play, and Roik making two spectacular saves to deny Rochester on the man advantage. Dutch now to Radcliffe, back on the left wing to Dutch. 7 seconds left on the shot clock as Brad Self will take it away. And Vancouver back at even strength as Paulus takes that feed and gives it down the near boards to Jamieson. 7:26 to go in the fourth, 6-5 Rochester. Vittorelli fires the shot, and that one is grabbed on the errant shot by Weiss. In on goal, the shot kicked away by Vince. They dig for it on the near boards, and Dylan Evans will grab it and bounce it over to his left to Scott Campbell. Campbell gives it to Johnny Paulus, who will pass to Jamieson. Jamieson across for Dawson. Has it on the left wing, watched there by Pitchell. Dawson fires, and that one is corralled by Roik, who fires it down the turf. Grimes in the Rochester zone. 6:40 to go, and the sidearm shot goes wide of the net. Radcliffe picks it up. Bounces it left wing to Smith. In on goal, the shot, he scores. Cliff Smith on the run has tied it at 6.
That was just Cliff Smith coming off the bench there. Caught a pass from the right side, and just obviously on his wrong side. I'm not sure if Matt Vince was ready for that or caught him a little bit by surprise. That was a real nice shot there by Smith.
So Cliff Smith with his second of the game, and I was told if Cliff Smith is going well, so are the Vancouver Stealth, and he's got 2 goals, and we're tied up at 6. Time of the goal 8:30 as it's knocked into the Stealth zone, and Garrison will get it over to his right, and now it's passed across midfield. 6-6 is our score, so Rochester went on a 3-0 run to take a 6-4 lead, and the Stealth have responded for 2 in a row, and that shot from the outside by Radcliffe is denied. Rochester across midfield. Dylan Evans with it on the left wing side, and his flip pass is grabbed by Dan Dawson. Pass on the near side to Vittorelli. Over to Craig Point in the left wing. Point in the slot. Getting away from his defender in front. The shot scores! And Dawson able to put it by Roy. It's 7-6.
Looks like
9:20 the time of the goal, but this one is going to be challenged by head coach Chris Hall.
Yeah, looks like we got the challenge flag coming out, and Roik obviously he was signaling to the bench to throw the flag there. So we'll see what happens.
The last challenge was by head coach Mike Hazen, and the ruling on the field was upheld using the video replay, and now Vancouver challenging a Rochester goal. So the crew chief, Robert Hollingsworth, will take a look and see indeed if the goal by Dan Dawson will stand as he gets the shot off in tight. And it does trickle by Roik, but when does it go in? Does he beat him cleanly? I know he gets a piece of it. Dawson's in the air, and the ball is crossing the goal line, and his foot just touches down in the crease.
I think it was in the mesh before his foot stepped down.
Well, it's very close.
It is very. Ooh.
Well, the ruling on the field is a goal, so there's got to be conclusive evidence to overturn the call. This is where you need the overhead shot.
That's his jersey that I think I see. Well, maybe not. Looks like it's up in here, but then drops. I don't know.
540 is the...
That's why the refs make the big bucks to make the calls like this.
Now we'll see what is the ruling on the field. It is a goal. You're 2 for 2 tonight.
2 for 2.
The eagle eye, I'm going to start calling you. Got that great vantage point. I'm closer to midfield. You're near the restraining line.
But we're still 2 feet apart.
Absolutely. Face off. Garrison won it. He takes a hit, and Sid Smith scoops it up. He one-hands it ahead to Paul Dawson, who has it stripped away. In on goal, the behind-the-back shot by Molesky goes wide. Brad Self goes in there to try to disrupt the stealth, but it's grabbed, and now Vancouver will change it up and get their offense out there, as Digby will feed it over to his right and now pass back on the left wing to Dutch. Reese Dutch feeds it over to Digby. He shoots and misses wide. That bounces off the far boards. Brad Self will scoop it up. He's got a lot of black sweaters in front of him, 5 in all, so he elects to give it to Point, who will fire it to Paulus, who will give it back over on the left wing to Craig Point. Now to Dawson, who has 2 goals tonight. Dan Dawson against Mike Grimes. Now to Jamieson on the right wing. Fighting off a check. Trying to bull his way past his second defender. Flips it in front of the net to Point, and Grimes will take it away. In transition, he comes across midfield. 4:20 to go in a 1-goal game. Over to Digby. Fed in front. The shot by Bucktooth. He scores.
Wow, real nice pass and play there by the Vancouver stealth, and back and forth in front of Matt Vince. And I don't care who you are, if you're going to allow guys to pass the ball 3 or 4 times on top of the crease, they're going to score every time. So that might be something that down the stretch Rochester might have to identify.
7-7 as Brett Bucktooth beats Matt Vince. And now the face-off battle ensues. 7-7. Just over 4 minutes to go here in the 4th. And the flip pass taken by Digby, who will fire it across to Radcliffe, who will give it near side to Dutch. The shot, and that hit the back of Ian Lord. Grabbed now by Scott Campbell. Campbell has it on the left wing. And he'll give it to Dawson, and Campbell will head off for a breather. Craig Point, Jamieson, and Keogh now out there for the Knighthawks. Also Corey Vitarelli. Jamieson setting up to the left of Roy. Still with it, shoved to the outside. Passes it over to Keogh, who lost it. He's going to try to chase down Garrison. Self also in pursuit. The shot and a right arm save by Vince, but it's fed over, and the shot goes wide of the net by Radcliffe, who just let that one go seconds into the shot clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Vancouver player there was thinking on that shot, but I think it was Grimes taking a shot like that with 25 seconds to go on the shot clock. There's no offensive players within 10 feet of the Rochester end, so that's something that obviously their coaching staff will deal with.
Vitarelli posting up in front, he scores! Corey Vitarelli, it's 8-7.
That was a great individual effort there by Corey Vitarelli to make a real nice play in front of the net, get to the top of the crease and shoot the ball in behind Matt Royk, and real nice individual effort by Corey Vitarelli.
So the man they call the dog doing the hard work in front of the net. And he beats Royk over the right shoulder, and Rochester back in front by 1. And now here come the stealth. As Radcliffe joins the rush, and Smith will take the flip pass on the left wing. 2:30 to go, 8-7 Rochester. Smith gets away from the double team, fired over to Dutch on the left wing. In the slot to Bucktooth. Trying to get in on goal, and he gives it back to Digby. His pass off the far boards, grabbed by Radcliffe. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Radcliffe, the bounce shot, and it is trapped by Matt Vince. With 2:10 to go, we have an official timeout on the turf, and the Knighthawks back in front, 8-7 on the nifty goal by Corey Vitarelli. We'll be back on the Knighthawks Broadcast Network.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans, flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon to the net, scores! Curtis Dixon again! It's 11-10 Calgary!
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games, live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.
Midway through, Dawson across midfield to Johnny Paulus, who will pass to Vitarelli. Now back to Johnny Paulus as it's worked over to the far boards to Craig Point. Craig Point against Grimes. Backing his way in, spinning, in on goal, fires, and he scores! Craig Point, it's 9-7.
Nice individual effort there. He obviously got a real nice pick there by Dan Dawson. Big body. Made a nice little seal for Craig Point to beat the Vancouver defender. Made a real nice move on another defender and put it in behind Matt Royk. So real nice goal, timely goal too for Craig Point. He's one of those guys that scores big goals. Of course, he scores timely goals. So that was a real nice goal there by Craig Point, and to put Rochester up 9-7 with 1:46 to go in the game here.
Seventh-year pro out of Six Nations. That's his second goal of the game. And Rochester with it again. And with 1.5 to go. Check that, 3 goals tonight for Craig Point. Over on the left wing to Dawson. Dawson looking, getting underneath. Feeds it across to Vitarelli, doesn't connect. So 3 goals for Craig Point. Now the bounce pass down the other end of the floor. And Grimes cannot stay out of the crease, and it's turned over. 1 minute and 10 seconds, and now Grimes is going to head to the penalty box.
Obviously, Grimes didn't like what the call was and had a couple words there for the referee, and he obviously took offense to it a little bit, and he's going to the box for a couple minutes.
So Craig Point with a hat trick tonight. Last year he heated up down the stretch and helped the Knighthawks capture their second straight NLL championship, and he is doing the same thing a year later. So unsportsmanlike conduct on Grimes gives Rochester the man advantage, and more importantly the ball with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. And Jamieson going to hang on to it as long as he can. Less than a minute remaining as he'll pass it to Paulus, who will give it right back. Now to Point on the left wing. To Dawson. Up top to Jamieson. Now to Paulus on the right wing. Looking. Feeds it in front. Vitarelli. The shot, he scores! Corey Vitarelli. It is 10-7. So the Rochester Knighthawks down the stretch outscoring Vancouver 4-1, and they have a 3-goal lead. 40 seconds to go, and Brad Self will come in and scoop up the face-off win by Evans. And his pass ricochets off the near glass, and it's grabbed by Beers, and Roik will head to the stealth bench. 25 seconds to go. Rochester will improve to 12-4. The shot by Digby, save. The rebound is swatted through the crease, and Vince will scoop it up. He will fire it down the turf where it's grabbed by Paul Dawson. 8 seconds to go, and he will roll it in on Roik. And Roik will kill off the final seconds, and the Rochester Knighthawks edge the Vancouver Stealth 10-7 with a great run at the end of the fourth quarter of play with 3 goals in the final 2 minutes and 47 seconds, and Rochester is victorious. And Vancouver falls to 4-11, and right now the playoff chances are bleak for Vancouver this year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's obviously something that it's real unfortunate there for Vancouver. You know, getting the franchise back into Vancouver this year, and you know, putting up numbers like that. They've struggled a little bit, you know, but on paper they got a real good team on paper. I think they're just struggling with a little bit with their consistency, and obviously they only scoring 7 goals. You're not going to win too many games scoring 7 goals in a lacrosse game.
So the Rochester Knighthawks have now won 7 of their last 8. They are also 7-1 at home this season, and they will take on the Buffalo Bandits next Saturday night in the regular season home finale. They'll finish the 2014 regular season on the road in Buffalo on April 26th. And the 3 stars tonight. 3rd star goes to Vancouver's Lewis Radcliffe, who had 2 goals and 1 assist. 2nd star Craig Point, who had 3 goals and 1 assist. And the 1st star tonight is netminder Matt Vince, who makes 41 saves for the Rochester Knighthawks. And a big win here on their home turf, setting themselves in a great position heading into the home-and-home series with the Buffalo Bandits.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be another big series between Rochester and Buffalo, and obviously, you know, down the stretch, it's possible they meet each other in the playoffs, and that might be 2 games that might set the tone for the playoffs. So it should be an exciting 2 games between the Bandits and the Knighthawks.
48-32 were the final shots on goal, and Brooksy is going to be downstairs with our 1st star of the night, which is none other than number 48, Matt Vince.
We're here tonight with our Dick-Eyed Player of the Game. 85% of your vote tonight. Give it up for Matt Vince.
A big win again for Matt Vince.
42 saves tonight. Big win, big team effort. It's got to feel good to come out with a W.
Yeah, we wanted to control our own destiny and really fight for home floor advantage throughout the Eastern playoffs. And I think we came out with a gritty effort from start to finish, and that's how we want to play. That's a little bit of playoff lacrosse, and I'm happy that we got a W here tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You did your part tonight. Buffalo's game still going on, but nonetheless, the Bandits coming in town next weekend. How big is that game going to be?
Anytime you play the Bandits, it's a huge game, especially at home in front of this great crowd. And hopefully we can come out with the same type of performance and really shut their fans down. I know they'll be bringing a bunch, so hopefully we're ready to battle them hard and give you guys a good game.
Give it up for your Dick-Eyed Player of the Game, Matt Vince.
As the Rochester Knighthawks are victorious over Vancouver 10-7. We'll take a break. When we'll come back, we'll have the post-game wrap-up here from the Blue Cross Arena, where Rochester improves to 12-4. We'll be back on the Knighthawks Broadcast Network.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon into the net. Scores! Curtis Dixon again. It's 11-10 Calgary.
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games, live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.